Hello, welcome to episode 100 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is how to smash your goals in 2017. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, I'm really happy because I actually can't believe we are at episode 100 on the Online Trainers Podcast. It's been a great 100-day journey in the making. More so, I specifically started this podcast show, I believe, in about September, mid-September to the end of September. And so it's come a long way since then. But really, I firstly just wanted to wish you a great Christmas. I hope you had, firstly, a great time to wind down with the kids, family, work, off work, if you're single, if you have no kids. But more importantly, I wanted to wish you a happy new year, because a lot of the times this time represents for a lot of us a new start, and it's a great thing. I love the whole concept of having a new year, because it really allows most people to really move on, to really say, okay, it's a completely fresh start, which I think we need more of, because a lot of the times a lot of us make mistakes but fail to appreciate that tomorrow is a completely new day and we can move on from it. So I truly believe that if you are switched into a new gear this year, you're going to absolutely dominate. I think for a lot of the times I've looked back and I've set some goals in the past, and I've never been able to really achieve them to the level that I would have wanted. And spending a lot of time around high achievers over the last year has opened up my mind specifically to a few things that they really do to set their New Year's resolutions and smash their goals for the year. So I wanted to share this thing with you that I did. I believe I did it in about May. I did my New Year's resolution in January, as we did last year. And then I did a set in May because I felt completely dissatisfied. So in this podcast episode, I really wanted to give you a rundown of how I set my goals last year, particularly setting my goals and hitting the targets. I look back and I was able to hit about 85% of the things that I wanted. And these were big things. At the time when I was writing these things, it was absolutely crazy, because for the first time in my life, I have to tell you the story. I think it was the 30th of December where I sat down and I booked a place in Crown Hotel to stay with Kerry, where we could do some planning and reflecting and analysing of what we did well. And then I was pulling up my Dropbox folder, and inside of that folder I found a goal setting workshop I did in May, and I pulled it up, and funnily enough I was reading through it, and 85% of the things that I put down there I had achieved. And I wrote this in May and I never looked at it again. And I remember writing it because it was a completely different way as to how I'd written any other goal setting in the past. I mean, I'd written goals for ages and I never hit them. I don't even know why I persisted. But this one time in May, I think I was feeling this sense of massive dissatisfaction, and I really wanted to really push myself forward. And it was really funny because I remember sitting there on the 30th of December, looking at it, reading it, and for the first time I was like, holy shit, Christmas has come true. Like I sat down and I told Kerry, oh my God, Kerry, have a look, read through this and tell me, is that what we've been able to create now? And when I was writing these things at the time, it seemed really airy, it seemed fluffy. When, if you are sitting in my position in May, creating a multi-million-dollar business, X, Y, and Z, having all these assets, having these great relationships, joining, networking with these people, growing in personal development areas and these programs, I would not have ever thought, if you had told me in May, that's what I would have achieved in 8 months. But I'd written it down. And when I sat back down on the 30th, I was reflecting, I was reading, and I was in awe, because for the first time I was like, holy shit, this came true. And this was actually really good, because it was one of those times where I actually found myself in kind of believing a little bit more that, hey, if I do put this stuff down and I do immerse myself, then it's going to happen. Now, I believe in this only if it's accompanied by action. Now, and the way I did this was I asked myself 3 questions. And if you have a look at the goal setting stuff that I did, I think I did it on my Instagram story, but it was about an 8-page PDF on every area of my life. Like, I started off with my physical body. I said, what do I want for my physical body? Like, who am I constructing? I talk a lot about this, but I did this in a much more specific way. I said, okay, who is this person that I'm constructing? Talk to me about the physical goals. How strong is he? What does he weigh? What's his body fat? What does he look like? What is he wearing? What are all these things? And so I created my what, and I had to be as specific as possible. So this was my persona. And then I'd get images I'd find online, copy and paste. And then the second thing is, as I got specific, right? I've set goals in the past and it's like, get leaner. Well, sure, lose like 500 grams. There you go, move along, right? That stuff doesn't work. I found what worked was really being specific, really immersing myself and using my imagination, really, to that fullest extreme. Second question I asked myself was, why? Why do I want this? Why is this so important to me? Why is having this physical appearance of this persona and looking a certain way so important to me on what my mission is or what am I trying to achieve in life? And so I jotted down exactly why it was so important to me. I was building this character. He needs to be fit, strong, and healthy. He needs to be respectable. He needs X, Y, and Z, right? And then I got to the how. So there were the three questions, like, what do I want? What do I want specifically? Okay, why? Why do I want it? Like, why would I go through so much pain to getting this? And the thing is, a lot of the times, if you can make the why not about you and make it about somebody else, because you will do more for others than you will for yourself, it's going to help. Like, if everything's about you, nothing's going to happen. But I noticed that a lot of my whys were because of my family. It was because of obligation, not only just myself, but the people around me. Like, even though I'm not super close with my family, I have an obligation to look after them, help them grow. And that's on me, and that becomes my why. My why is my partner. My why is now my partner's family. My why is now all the people that interact with me. That's my why to becoming better or achieving the goals. When you make it about other people, well, you have to do it now, and you have to let them know. You have to let them know, because at the same time, true obligation comes from letting them know what you're doing because of them or for them, and they will keep you accountable. Okay, and the last thing is the how. How are you going to get there? And so a lot of the times we tend to map out these visions, but we have no idea how we're going to get there. It's one thing to have the end goal, but if we don't know exactly where we are at this moment in time, we don't know the dots and we can't connect the dots, the chance of us succeeding our goals are going to be slim to none, right? And so for me, I said, okay, where am I currently at? Like, how am I going to get there? What do I need to do? But more importantly than how, I wrote down the habits that I needed to take, because at the end of the day, the result is just a result of the habits you do every single day. And let me repeat that, okay? If your habit is to eat 2 meals a day and they're clean meals a day, and to go to the gym and work out 1 hour a day, and that workout's better than the last workout, naturally the result is going to be you're going to have an awesome physique. Okay? And so it's not, hey, I need to go to the gym every day. It's not, hey, I need to eat clean every day. The habit that you need to take is to eat clean every day, 2 meals a day, and train harder than you did last time. And that becomes the habit that you need to enforce. And so when you do it this way, you're not looking at what tactics you need. You're looking at really building the small things every single day to get the end result. Okay? Don't expect to get the end result without changing the habit. And so a lot of the times for my body, it's like going, okay, I'm having 2 meals a day. I'm going to skip breakfast. I'm going to have my lunch. I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to have relatively healthy meals in moderation. And for me, my workouts, that's it. They have to be harder than the last one I did, more intense. I have to measure them. I have to track them. And so if I'm working out, they have to be harder or more intense or better than the previous workout. Okay? And so when I look at my business, it's like, okay, what are the habits that I need to do every single day in order to achieve a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business, whatever business that you want to achieve? What's the habit that you need to take on? Is it that you need to be consistent with email? Is it that you need to be consistent with lead generation and sales this year, no matter what? Is it that you need to create the systems? Okay, so that you're not actually inside the business, you're working on the business. What are the habits that you need to do? For me, one of the biggest things that I do with podcasting and email is going to and sitting down at a cafe in the morning. That becomes a habit because I get the email, I get the blog, whatever it is, and then I get the podcast done. Okay, and so these things lead me to getting the end result that I want. And so I want to share that with you, because a lot of the times when you ask what, most people aren't specific enough in what they want. And when you're not specific enough, you don't get exactly what you want. Okay, the second thing is why. Why do you want it? Most people's whys are all about them. I want this because it'll make me feel good. Start making it about other people. Start putting yourself out there to become a leader. When you're a leader, you bring people up around you, and therefore you are obligated to do certain things. Like, you're obligated to make 6 figures this year. You're obligated to make $100,000 this year so that you can help the people around you. That's your obligation. It's on you. And when you take that responsibility, the game will change, right? And if you don't take that responsibility upon yourself, the game will never change, and you play this victim mentality. So if you are in control of your life, then take the responsibility, take that ownership, and take the obligation, and that's when your life will change, because now it's a must, right? And the last thing I want you to do is think about how you're going to get there, but more importantly, what are the habits that you need to take to get you there? Just like I talked to you about my physical body getting into shape, the 2 habits that I need to do is train harder than I did before and eat 2 healthy meals a day. 2 meals a day. I can have it as much as I want, 2 healthy, good meals a day, and train harder than I did before, and I'll get to the end result that I want. And so I did that for my body. I did that for my personal development, my mind. I did that for my relationship. I did that for my business. I did that for the assets that I wanted in terms of experiences, in terms of the nice things that I wanted. And so I really want you to sit down, really, because when I say this, I don't know how or any other way to describe it. It's honestly, it's like Santa Claus bringing your Christmas presents to you. Santa is real, except you just need to do the work, okay? And so for 2017, the outlook for me, I did the same process. I wrote all that down in depth on a PDF, on a Word doc, get images, be immersed, but most importantly, ask yourself these 3 questions and ask them really well. Like, what is it that I want specifically? Why do I want it? Really, why? Stack those whys. Don't just have 1 or 2, really stack the whys. And the last thing is, how am I going to get it? But more importantly, what habits do I need to do every single day in order to naturally get this result, because I'm doing the things that I'm doing on a consistent basis, okay? So have fun with that. I really got excited over this podcast episode, but really have fun with them, and we're absolutely going to smash 2017 together. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up. I want to mind map it all out first and get completely clear on it, and then I want to share it with you moving forward in 2017. But once again, really thank you so much for your support, listening to this show. And most importantly, I don't care about the support and stuff. I care that you implement and you get the results, and then you message me and say, hey, because of your podcast, because of your content, I was able to do this, or I've been able to do this, or I've had more freedom, I've signed up 5 more clients. That makes my day. Okay, have a fantastic new year. I hope, and honestly, sincerely hope, that you smash it this year, and I'll do everything that I can to give you the tools and strategies, and really hopefully keep going with the mindset stuff. But listening to this, then you are on track to smash it. So do that one thing, and if you haven't planned your goals, then do it this way. I guarantee you'll completely change your life. Have a great day. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.